You know, when I was younger, I used to think life peaked in your 30s or 40s. That after that, it was just a slow slide into aches, routines, and watching the world move on without you. But now that I've passed 50, I can honestly say life has never felt richer, more meaningful, or more mine than it does right now. Maybe you've felt that shift too. Maybe you're just turning 50 and wondering what's next. Or maybe you're in your 60s and starting to realize you're more confident, more peaceful, even happier than you were 2 decades ago. If so, you're not imagining it. There's real science behind why life often gets better after 50. And I want to walk you through it, step by step, because this stage of life is full of surprises most people never see coming. Before we keep going, I'd love your help with something. If you're enjoying this video so far, comment Y below. If not, comment N. It helps me know what's working and what to improve. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's dive deeper. Let's start with something big, emotional well-being. You'd think that with aging comes more stress, right? But studies have shown the opposite. Research out of Stanford found that people in their 50s and beyond often experience greater emotional stability and life satisfaction than younger adults. It's called the U-curve of happiness, and it shows that happiness tends to dip in midlife, then steadily rises again after about age 50. Why does this happen? One major reason is emotional regulation. As we get older, we learn not to sweat the small stuff. We stop wasting energy on drama or chasing other people's approval. That clarity, that peace, it's earned through experience. We finally know what truly matters, and we let go of what doesn't. I have a friend named Lorna. She used to run herself ragged trying to please everyone. But now, in her early 60s, she says no without guilt, yes without fear, and doesn't waste a minute on regrets. I used to worry about being liked, she told me. Now I just focus on being real. That's the magic of this chapter of life. It's not about proving yourself anymore. It's about being yourself. Another unexpected benefit of life after 50 is deeper relationships. Not just romantic ones, though that can certainly happen, but friendships, family connections, community ties. Because we're more emotionally mature, we tend to communicate better, set healthier boundaries, and choose people who lift us up. We become more selective, yes, but also more open-hearted. It's a beautiful balance. And let's talk about purpose. So many people fear retirement because they think they'll lose their sense of purpose. But here's the thing, after 50, we often find our real purpose. We're no longer consumed by the hustle or trying to climb a career ladder. We can finally ask, what do I want to contribute? What makes me feel alive? A fascinating study from the Harvard Adult Development Project, which tracked people for over 80 years, found that those who maintained strong relationships and a sense of purpose lived longer and felt more fulfilled. It turns out that connection and meaning are better predictors of healthy aging than wealth or even physical fitness. And after 50, we're in the perfect position to lean into those two things. Maybe it's mentoring someone younger. Maybe it's volunteering, starting a creative project, reconnecting with family, or even launching a new business. The point is, we finally have the wisdom, time, and freedom to shape our days with intention. You know what else often improves after 50? Confidence. We may not look like we did at 25, but we carry ourselves with a strength and ease that only comes with time. We know how to speak up, how to ask for what we need, and how to walk away from what doesn't serve us. That's real power. And contrary to what you might hear, many people actually feel more attractive in their 50s and 60s because they're more comfortable in their own skin. One woman I met during a workshop said, "I spent decades covering up who I was. Now I dress how I like, laugh as loud as I want, and dance like nobody's watching because I finally stopped caring what anyone thinks." That kind of liberation, that's the stuff no wrinkle cream can give you. It's earned through living. So if you've been dreading getting older, I want to gently challenge that mindset. Because this part of life is not the beginning of the end. It's the beginning of something real. Something grounded. Something more joyful than we were ever told to expect. And we're just getting started. In the next part, we'll explore some surprising ways your brain, body, and even your creativity can improve after 50, and why you might be just entering your most inspired, healthiest chapter yet. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Now that we've talked about the emotional and relational benefits of life after 50, let's shift gears and talk about the brain and body. Because here's something that might surprise you. Your physical and mental health don't just decline after 50. In many ways, they actually improve. You've probably heard the saying, use it or lose it. And when it comes to your brain, that's absolutely true. Research shows that the more we engage in mentally stimulating activities, like learning new things, solving puzzles, or even playing musical instruments, the more we strengthen neural connections. In fact, scientists have found that our brains can continue to grow new connections and even new cells well into our later years, a process known as neurogenesis. So contrary to the old belief that brain function inevitably declines, we actually have the power to keep our minds sharp and active. Think about it. In our 50s and beyond, we've accumulated so much knowledge and life experience. We have context, we have wisdom, and we have a deeper understanding of the world around us. This gives us a unique advantage. But to really tap into that potential, we need to keep challenging our brains. For example, learning a new language or picking up a new skill, whether it's cooking, painting, or even coding, can be incredibly rewarding. A study conducted by the University of Edinburgh found that people who engage in mentally stimulating activities experience a slower rate of cognitive decline compared to those who don't. That means the things you enjoy, whether it's reading, crafting, or problem solving, are actually protecting your brain. I have a friend named Rick who started learning photography in his early 60s. He'd never picked up a camera before, but now he's spending his weekends taking breathtaking photos of nature and capturing his travels. It's not only given him a creative outlet, but he's also noticed a boost in his confidence. His mental focus is sharper, and he's happier than ever. It's an example of how embracing something new, no matter your age, can invigorate both your mind and your life. Now let's talk about the body. Sure, we all know that aging comes with a few more creaks and aches, but it's also a time when many of us start to focus more on our health, because we've realized how important it is to take care of the body we've been given. The truth is, your physical health doesn't have to decline with age. It's about adopting habits that promote longevity and vitality. For example, regular exercise has been shown to improve everything from cardiovascular health to muscle mass, bone density, and even mental well-being. A study published in the journal Aging Cell found that people in their 60s and 70s who exercised regularly showed improvements in muscle strength and mobility, helping them stay independent and active well into their later years. It doesn't have to be intense. Just 30 minutes of moderate exercise like walking, yoga, or swimming can make a huge difference. And don't forget strength training. It's not just for building muscle, it helps with balance, stability, and preventing falls. Plus, building muscle mass at any age can boost metabolism and energy levels. I've seen so many people in their 50s and beyond transform their lives with simple changes. My neighbor, Sandy, started walking every day about 5 years ago. She began with just 10 minutes, then built up to an hour. Now she's stronger, more flexible, and even joined a local hiking club. The best part? She tells me she feels younger now than she did 20 years ago. And let's not forget about the power of diet. Our metabolism naturally slows as we age, but we can still eat foods that fuel us and support our health. For example, a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats can help reduce inflammation, protect against chronic disease, and improve heart health. The Mediterranean diet, which emphasizes plant-based foods, healthy fats, and lean protein, has been linked to better brain health and longevity. I've personally made some changes in my own diet in recent years, more leafy greens, nuts and fish, and fewer processed foods, and I feel more energetic than I have in years. And the best part, I'm finally learning to enjoy food, rather than just eating to fuel myself. The shift to a more mindful approach to eating is a simple but powerful change that can have a huge impact on your overall health. But beyond physical health, I also want to mention the importance of sleep. As we age, our sleep patterns can change, but getting quality rest is just as important now as it was when we were younger. In fact, A good night's sleep is crucial for memory consolidation, immune function, and emotional well-being. If sleep has become more challenging, consider creating a calming nighttime routine or limiting screen time before bed. Your body and mind will thank you. So far, we've covered how your brain and body can both thrive after 50. But there's one more thing I want to touch on before we wrap up: the power of perspective. As we age, we naturally gain a broader view of life. We realize that some things that once felt so important, like career milestones or material success, aren't what bring us happiness. The real joy, it turns out, often comes from the small moments, the connections, and the experiences that are impossible to measure. That shift in perspective can bring a profound sense of freedom. In the next part, we'll dive into the mindsets and habits that can help you embrace this phase of life with grace, positivity, and confidence. Stay tuned. Before we dive into the next part, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this video, please drop a Y below. If not, feel free to leave a N. It helps me keep improving. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's continue. So far, we've talked about how your brain and body can thrive after 50, and how your emotional well-being can improve as you grow older. But there's another key ingredient to making this phase of life truly fulfilling, and that's mindset. The way we think about aging, our capabilities, and the future plays a huge role in shaping the life we experience after 50. If you've heard people say, "It's too late to change," or "I'm too old to start something new," I'm here to tell you, those are just limiting beliefs. In fact, studies show that mindset can drastically influence our health and happiness as we age. Research from Yale University found that older adults with a positive view of aging live up to 7.5 years longer than those who view aging negatively. That's not just a nice idea, it's science. One of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make is changing how you view aging in the first place. Instead of seeing it as something to fear or resist, try seeing it as an opportunity. You've likely learned a lot about yourself and the world in your first 50 years. Now think of this as the bonus round, where you get to apply that wisdom, try new things, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. For example, my friend Linda, who's in her late 50s, always wanted to start a garden, but thought she didn't have the time or knowledge. Then one day, she decided to give it a shot. Now, she's not only growing vegetables in her backyard, but also mentoring a community gardening group. She told me, "I wish I'd started earlier, but I'm so glad I started when I did. I feel more connected to the earth, to my neighbors, and to myself." Starting new things or pursuing passions later in life isn't just about keeping busy. It's about embracing that inner curiosity we all have, the part of us that still wants to grow, explore, and contribute. It might be intimidating at first, but the rewards are incredible. However, let's be honest, there are still challenges we face as we age, both physically and emotionally. It's normal to feel doubts or fears, especially when your body or energy levels start to change. But the secret is not to fight against these changes, but to adapt to them with grace. For example, it might be tempting to push yourself to keep up with the same level of intensity you had in your 30s or 40s. But instead of feeling frustrated, it can be liberating to shift your focus. Rather than pushing to the point of exhaustion, find a new rhythm that works for you. Listen to your body, and know that slowing down doesn't mean you're less capable. It means you're being kind to yourself and honoring your needs. One of the biggest challenges in this phase of life is accepting change. But here's the good news. The more we learn to embrace change, the more resilient we become. Change is inevitable, yes, but it also opens the door for us to become even better versions of ourselves. Think of it like upgrading your phone or computer. You may have to adjust to the new features, but once you do, you realize the new version is far better. Another aspect of overcoming challenges in your 50s and beyond is letting go of perfectionism. So often, we hold ourselves back because we think we're not ready or not good enough. But here's the thing, it's never about being perfect, it's about being you. One of the most freeing things I've learned in my own journey is that it's okay to not have everything figured out. We don't need to be perfect parents, perfect partners, or perfect professionals. We just need to be authentic and embrace the beauty of imperfection. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Building a support system is just as important as maintaining your health or your career. Find people who lift you up, who understand the unique joys and struggles of aging. Whether it's through friendships, family, or a community group, connection is key. In fact, studies have shown that strong social ties can improve both your physical and emotional health, leading to a longer, happier life. I'm sure you've heard the expression, "It takes a village." Well, that village is more important than ever in our 50s and beyond. The more we surround ourselves with positive influences, the more we strengthen our resilience and ability to face any challenges that come our way. Finally, let's talk about self-compassion. This is a mindset that many of us overlook as we age, but it's one of the most important things we can practice. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we don't look the way we used to, or when we struggle with things that once came easily. But it's crucial to remind ourselves that we're doing the best we can, and that's enough. In fact, research shows that practicing self-compassion, being kind to yourself in moments of failure or difficulty, leads to greater emotional well-being and lower levels of stress. So, the next time you find yourself being critical, pause. Take a deep breath and speak to yourself like you would to a dear friend. The truth is, this phase of life can be the most rewarding if we approach it with the right mindset. Yes, there are obstacles. Yes, there will be times when things don't go as planned. But with the right attitude and habits, we can rise above them and make the most of what's ahead. In the next part, we'll wrap things up with some actionable steps you can take today to continue building a life that's fulfilling, exciting, and full of possibilities, no matter your age. Stick around. As we near the end of this journey, let's take a moment to recap everything we've discussed so far. We've talked about the physical, emotional, and mental benefits that come with aging, and how mindset plays a crucial role in embracing this phase of life with grace and enthusiasm. And we've explored how simple yet powerful changes can help you continue growing, thriving, and experiencing life to its fullest. The key takeaway here is that life after 50 doesn't have to be something to dread. In fact, it can be the best chapter yet. We're not slowing down, we're simply shifting gears, finding new rhythms, and approaching life from a place of wisdom, confidence, and perspective. The world is still full of opportunities, and there's so much waiting for us to discover, create, and enjoy. Now, what does this look like in practical terms? How can you take what we've discussed and start applying it today to live your best life? First, prioritize your health, not just physical health, but mental and emotional well-being as well. We've talked about the importance of exercise, but it's not just about staying active. It's about making it a part of your lifestyle, whether that means walking, swimming, biking, or dancing. Find what feels good for you, and don't forget to pay attention to what you eat. Nourish your body with wholesome foods that fuel your energy and support your immune system. Remember, small daily choices lead to long-term health benefits. But health isn't just about the body. Your mind needs care too. Keep challenging yourself to learn, grow, and stay curious. Take up a new hobby or dive deeper into something you've always wanted to explore. You don't have to be an expert, just get started. The process of learning is where the magic happens. The more you stretch your mental muscles, the more resilient and engaged you'll feel. Another powerful step you can take is to build a strong support network. Surround yourself with people who encourage, uplift, and challenge you to be your best self. Whether it's friends, family, or a community group, having a network of positive, like-minded individuals is key to feeling fulfilled and connected. As we get older, those relationships become even more important. They provide comfort, joy, and the sense of belonging we all need to thrive. And lastly, embrace self-compassion. If you're ever feeling down or frustrated, give yourself grace. Aging comes with its ups and downs, but you're doing the best you can. Treat yourself with kindness, acknowledge your progress, and remember that you're enough, just as you are. In fact, when it comes to self-compassion, remember that the act of being kind to yourself isn't a sign of weakness. It's a source of strength. Studies show that people who practice self-compassion are more resilient in the face of stress and challenges, and they experience better emotional health overall. I want to leave you with one final piece of inspiration. The path ahead is yours to shape. Yes, there will be moments of difficulty, but there will also be countless moments of joy, growth, and fulfillment. The world isn't slowing down for you. It's full of potential waiting for you to tap into. Whether it's pursuing a new passion, traveling, learning something new, or simply savoring the small moments, life after 50 can be just as vibrant, exciting, and meaningful as you choose to make it. And as we wrap up, I want to remind you of something. It's never too late to start living your best life. Each day is a new opportunity to grow, to create, and to live with purpose. I encourage you to take small steps today, whether that means getting outside for a walk, calling a friend you haven't talked to in a while, or setting aside time for a new hobby. It all adds up, and before you know it, you'll be living a life you love, full of joy, vitality, and meaning. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. Here's to living your best life at any age.